Hi, I'm Victoria Strong, and I'm going to teach you how to make your branding better right now. Today is the day that you're taking your brand from hodgepodge DIY thrown together mess to something that's more refined, more intentional, more strategic. And this is going to signal to your audience that you are taking your brand more seriously, that you are getting ready to blow up, and that's going to make them take you more seriously, have greater trust in you and the products you sell, and start buying more often. Sound good? So I've been calling this process the overnight brand glow up. It's inspired by these posts that are on Pinterest all the time, and I think they're on TikTok now, they're everywhere. But basically, a very pretty girl will tell you this is everything you're gonna do to like have your summer glow up or do all these things at night and wake up pretty. That's what we're doing, but we're doing it to your brand and like in a less weird, disordered way. We're gonna go through several checkpoints that I noticed DIY brand makers tend to not get quite right, and I'm gonna help you refine those and make them better so that your brand becomes something that's actually like propelling you and getting you closer to your goals rather than like a hindrance. I'm a professional brand designer, I get paid to do this, but there are several things that you can upgrade on your own if you're not ready to hire a designer yet. And it's kind of selfish of me to be sharing this information, because if you implement these changes and you start making more money, then you'll actually be closer to being ready to hire a designer, and I hope you'll hire me. Okay, the number one thing that small business owners, DIY brand builders get wrong is colors. And it's number one because it is messed up most often, but I really mean it's number one because it's the most important thing you need to fix. Not only does it make your brand look sloppy and unprofessional to have a bad color palette, but it can actually make your products and your content inaccessible to people who are visually impaired or dyslexic. So you're really cutting yourself off at the knees by reducing the number of people who even can interact with your brand if you're using an inaccessible color palette. Alright, so I have pulled up a tool that I use a lot when I'm creating color palettes for a client or for myself. It's called coolors.co, and I'll link it below. They have a free and a paid version. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put your brand colors in here if you have them. You can put the hex codes in, or you can start from scratch and build a new color palette if yours isn't working for you. There's a few ways to do that. You can just kind of... Here, I'll show you. You can like hit the space bar and randomize a color palette and then go in and refine each one, make it something you like a little more, etc. This color palette is one that I'm kind of playing with. I'm 2 years into Victoria Strong Designs, and I feel like it's time for like a little brand refresh, not a rebrand, but a refresh. And so this is the color palette that I've been playing with and tweaking as maybe a potential refresh to my current color palette. Now, the issue that I run into a lot is that I love pastels, and pastels are light colors. And so if, for example, I wanted to make a post with these two yellow shades, it would be completely unreadable. Like, combining pastels is generally a no-go. So I like to use this tool up here called Check Palette Contrast, and it's gonna pull up all these combinations that are valid. See, I have down here all or valid. So in the all, we can see like these are all the possible combinations of this color palette. It's really fun for me to look at, but you can see like a lot of them, even to my eye, and I have very good eyesight and color distinction, are like completely unreadable. I would never be able to read something on some of these combinations. And some of them, yeah, you can't even tell that there's words there, right? When we switch it to valid, it's gonna show us only the ones that are like accessibility approved. Now, you'll notice there's probably plenty on this one that you can actually read fine if you're not visually impaired. These are the ones that pretty much like the largest subset of people are going to be able to see. And so these are the ones that we want to stick to when we're making anything that has text on a color background. So that pretty much limits me just to like my pseudo black coffee bean as it's called here, on almost any background or almost any of my colors on that black background. It means I can't put the yellow on the green or the blue on the pink. if I want everybody to be able to read it. And of course I do, because I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. And I also don't want to alienate people when they're scrolling online and want to see my content. I want them to feel like good and welcome and thought of when they're looking at my stuff. Now, if I'm making an illustration, I have a little more leeway because it doesn't have to be readable, but I still want to be careful and not do any of these really rough ones. And if you need to, change some of the colors in your color palette in order to create more valid combinations. I might be happy just using the coffee bean and the light colors, or I might want to go in and add some darker colors so that I have a little bit more freedom to play around. I haven't really decided, but those are my options. And then once you have your colors decided, I want you to write down the hex code somewhere. We saw the hex codes on coolers. Basically what it is it's like a map to where on the color map your color lies, so that you're using the exact same color every time, everywhere. I don't want you to eyeball it. I don't want you to use something similar. I don't want you to use the eyedropper tool. I want you to use the hex codes, because what this does is it creates consistency that is not necessarily noticeable to the conscious mind, but it creates a subconscious association with your brand and the concept of consistency, which builds trust. It's going to teach your clients that you can deliver what you promise to deliver. And obviously that's really important. If you're selling something and you're saying it's this great, people need to believe that it is that great in order to buy it, and colors reinforce that story. I should say using the same colors consistently reinforces that story. The next area we're going to focus on is font choices. This is another one that goes along the same lines as color choices, where I see lots of entrepreneurs experimenting with fonts, having fun with fonts, finding a pretty font and like sticking with it for a week and then changing it. And it's kind of doing the same thing that not sticking to the same colors does, which is teaches your audience that you're not consistent, that you're not taking things seriously, that you don't know who you are. None of those things really inspire the confidence that someone would need in order to hand over their money to you. So we're going to nail down our font. We're going to open Canva to do this, and the goal is to pick 2, maybe 3 fonts and just stick with them. Picking a font it's a committed monogamous relationship. You get 2, maybe 3, but then you stick to them and you use them in everything, and you stop throwing in random ones or being lazy and like, I just need to get this content up, I'm gonna use whatever. That's gonna hurt you in the long term. It's worth it to take the time and put in your fonts. Now, what kind of fonts are we looking for? We need 2 or 3 kinds. So the heading font is gonna be something with a little bit of personality. I went like really hard on the personality and chose something like very quirky because that fits my brand. A lot of the time this is going to be like a little more reserved than the one I chose, but really it just depends on your brand. If you are cute and you like to have fun, you might choose a weird one. And then the body font, the most important thing about your body font is that it is readable, because that is what you're going to use for big blocks of texts. And if I wrote big blocks of text in either of my other fonts, it would be completely useless and a waste of time. It wouldn't be readable. Legibility is the most important thing for your body font. And then the accent font just like adds a little bit of personality. So like I said, my title font is already full of personality, but it's kind of like cute, squishy, quirky, and that it doesn't encapsulate the whole of my brand. I also have like kind of a romantic, elegant streak to me and the work that I do. So I picked a complementary accent font. It's a script, that means it's cursive, and it still has this kind of like round, sweet, gooey quality to it, but I think it just like takes the combination into a slightly different direction. So that's why I like it. The accent font is optional. You don't have to have one. I don't give accent fonts to most of my clients who are going to be doing DIY implementation because it's just like, it's advanced. But if you feel like really confident with fonts and your aesthetic vision, then I say go for it. These are also maybe not my body font, but the other 2 are not Canva fonts. I bought them on a separate website and uploaded them to Canva. And so that makes it easy to make content because, you know, making content on Canva is one of the easiest ways to do it, but it also protects me from having like a really predictable, overdone brand, because everybody is using Canva these days, which is great. I'm not anti-Canva in any way, but what it's done is it's made the fonts that are available on here quite tired and feel a little cheap just because they're so widely available. If you want something that's like a little special, a little different, and you have like 30 to $100 to spend on fonts, then you can go to Creative Market and find something cooler just to set you apart a little more. Okay, now that we have these fonts, just like the colors, we're gonna write this down somewhere. We're gonna write down the name of our heading body in accent font, or we're gonna save it in our Canva brand kit so that we're always using the same ones and we're not tempted to go searching through Canva to find new, different, better, more exciting ones just because we're like kind of bored. The other thing this is gonna do is, by having these on deck and not feeling the need to constantly change your fonts all the time, is gonna make your content creation so much quicker and much less of a strain on your energy, because you're taking a lot of the decision making out of it. You do still have to design things, you do still have to figure out like what you want it to say, but not spending all that time scrolling through the fonts is going to make you just like a lot more effective in your work. Visuals is a place a lot of people waste their time in. It's a really good excuse for a lot of people who are afraid to move on their dreams to be like, well, I need to like keep working on the visuals, I need to keep refining this, I need to change this, I need to rebrand. And it holds you back from doing your actual work, the part that actually changes lives. So we're gonna be in Canva still for the next part. Our next goal is to make these things easy on us, to reduce friction when we're creating content and when we're engaging in our brand. So the way we're gonna do it is by utilizing features like this. In Canva, it's called Brand Kit, but pretty much any platform where you're building a brand, they're gonna have something like the Brand Kit. I know on Squarespace they have a place where you can save your colors and fonts and preferences. On email marketing apps like Klaviyo, MailChimp, they'll have something like that. On Substack, they have something like that. Wherever you're building your website, they're gonna have it. And it's basically just like taking the time to stop and do a little bit of work up front so that next time you're designing in Canva or wherever you are, you don't have to individually change the font of each element. It's gonna do it for you. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a paid feature on Canva, so this kind of depends on your budget. If you are like on a $0 budget, then what you're gonna do instead of using brand kits is just write all this down in a notes app or on a Word doc and save it to your desktop so that every time you're making something, you can just like pull it up as a reference. But if you have the money to spend on Canva, I think it's a good investment for most businesses. Then you're going to edit your brand kit, and it's going to have a place for you to do all kinds of fonts. See, I only have 3 saved, and I think that's plenty. And then there's space for you to upload multiple logos, your colors. I don't use the brand voice thing because I think that's like how you teach their AI to write for you, and I'm not interested in that. You can upload photos from your photo brand shoot, graphics and icons. Like I'll show you, I think I have mine in icons. Nope, must be in graphics. I use these little stars as part of my branding in places, so having them here on Canva is super helpful. So having your brand uploaded on Canva is gonna make the content creation go smoother, and I'll show you how. Pick a template you like, and then click Styles. And if you click on your color palette, it'll apply your color palette there, and you can like shuffle the color palette until there's something readable and cute that you like. I kind of like this combination. And then to apply your fonts, you just go like that. Now obviously there's some issues. I'm gonna like shrink that down a ton because my font is just huge, and move it down. I'm gonna move this up, and there. It's not super cute. This probably isn't a template that I would choose for my brand. And then obviously switch out the picture for a picture of yourself, but like that took literal seconds. So if you're spending hours kind of agonizing over the visual decisions in your brand and you don't have money to hire someone to make you custom templates, using the ones in Canva and just applying your brand is going to take you leagues further than wasting your time in Canva doing things that are not even working for you. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to do while we're here together is change your social media profile pictures if necessary. This is necessary for a lot of people, and for like 99% of you, the answer is going to be to change your profile picture to a nice, clean, well-lit picture of your face. A lot of people try to do their logos in their profile pictures, and then the logo is just too tiny, it's not readable, it's not an interesting choice, and you're giving up this opportunity to like create connection with your face, which is really important if you are a service provider like me. That's why my picture is a picture of my face, is because when somebody hires me, they're hiring me and my energy, and they're paying to have me on a call with them one-on-one, and to like have my energy in their business. And so familiarizing people with my face and with my energy is important for that. If you are a podcaster, it should probably be a picture of your face. If you are a service provider, like I said, if you're an influencer of any kind, if what you're selling is your lifestyle, almost everybody should probably just have a picture of their face. Now, if you are selling products, you still might want a picture of your face, especially if you're like hand making the products or you are the face of your business. But in some cases, you may opt to have a picture of your most iconic product instead. I used to sell these moon clocks, and having a picture of the moon clock in the profile picture did kind of double duty advertising business, because we became associated with the moon clocks and that's what people knew us for. But also anytime it was like in the stories bubbles, then it was like reinforcing how cute and cool our product is. It was like advertising it in the profile picture, which I think was really neat, and the shape and size really lent itself to that. So those are all considerations. If you have like a really cute candle or really cute jewelry, these things might make sense in your profile picture. You might want to like experiment and see how it feels and how it looks, but it could be a creative choice. Another option you have, and this is also more for people who are not the face of their brand because they're selling products and they want to focus on the products, or perhaps because they are like an agency with lots of people and there's no one person to kind of advertise. You can do a submark. A submark is a logo. It's a logo variant. So instead of like the full multi-word name of your business, it's usually just 1 or 2 letters. I have a client who I noticed just yesterday changed her profile picture to the submark that I designed for her. I don't think her color contrast is quite right, so I might DM her on that, but I know why she picked it. It looks cute. Maybe just not accessible, but I do like the submark as a choice for her and her brand, because she sells like high-end hair tinsel and courses on how to install them and like start a business doing that. And so I kind of like the submark as a choice for her. I also think a picture of her with the glitter lights in her hair would be equally good in her case. Or perhaps even just like a picture of all the tinsel laid out together looking like super shiny. She has one of the businesses that could go for like a bunch of different options.
If you nail down your colors, and especially your color contrast options, if you nail down your fonts, if you upload those decisions into your content creation softwares, and if you change your profile picture to really work for you, all of that should really only take a couple of hours to do, and will put you leagues ahead when it comes to building your business, because as you're like working on creating your content, creating your products, showing up, making a name for yourself, these things are on your side, helping you build trust and helping you reinforce your brand values through visual expression.
So you don't have to do all that yourself. You've got like tools on your side. Lots of people will know these are the things they need to do to improve their business and won't do it. They'll just keep turning their wheels, wondering why they're not getting anywhere. But if you decide that this is worth your time and energy, you do the quick upgrades, you will have that overnight brand glow up. You will start to see the results. You will get more followers, you will get more customers and purchases. This is why branding and marketing is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It works. The Overnight Brand Glow Up is actually a PDF that I had for free that I've been sending out to people for a couple years now, and I've had people say things to me like this is the best freebie they've ever downloaded. Their words, not mine. So if you want the PDF version, it's gonna go through everything we talked about plus a lot more, and it has like a little workbook at the end so that you can check off your progress, because that's how my mind works. I love like a little checklist. It makes things so much more satisfying and also like doable. So here's the link to go download that if you want to like make it a little homework assignment. I also send this guide to my clients who hire me to do like mini brands and things like this, where they're going to be doing most of their brand implementation, because using a guide like this is going to make their investment go so much further. Just having a nicely designed brand is important. Like having a professionally designed brand is important, and if that's something you want, you will get there, don't worry. But without implementation, that beautiful logo and the color palette can really fall flat. You actually have to use it in order to make the investment give you a return, pay you back, right? So I send this to people for free, and I send this to my clients to use in their actual projects. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you find the process fun, because it should be fun to think of ways to express your values and express your personality and the personality of your brand and the vision that you're selling in creative, pretty, visually compelling ways. I think it's so fun. If you have any questions on upgrading your brand in these quick, easy ways, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm happy to help even more. I love working with brand visuals because visual cues like form, color, texture, these are a subconscious language. Most people don't even know that the things they're looking at make them feel a certain way, but they do. Even people who ever buy something based on the package alone are usually doing just that. They're just doing it subconsciously without even realizing, which makes it a really powerful tool in storytelling your brand without having to sit down and explicitly say it. All the choices you made about colors and fonts, photography and visuals, those are gonna say things for you that would be like clumsy and clunky to say if you tried to say them with English human words. It's a more sophisticated language than English. My branding that I use in all these videos tells people that I am aesthetically inclined, that I value things that are cute and fun and unserious but highly effective. It makes my brand approachable and not feel like overly sophisticated or corporate. It says I'm a cute, fun girl and that we're gonna like have fun together. Because I can bring a professional designer eye to it, it also says that like things are gonna happen. I can help you make your business better. And all of that, none of that I have to say out loud. All of that's said for me by the decisions that I made when I designed my brand.